I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. So all my viewers, they want to find this new destination for the Afro-Cuban culture that is called Sankofa Habana. So can you explain to me, and to my viewers, a little bit of what the concept of this project is about?
Yeah, definitely. First off, welcome to our humble space called Sankofa Habana. For those of you who don't know, Sankofa is a African bird that represents learning about your roots and where you come from. That's why it's a bird that they say flies forward while looking backwards. And that's something that we're trying to do with the Cuban music, with the Afro-Cuban culture, is teach people the roots of these traditions so people can know where they're going and build a prosperous future, whether it's artistically or musically. So that's first and foremost what Sankofa Habana stands for. We also stand for supporting the local artists. So in this first part of our studio, it's dedicated to selling our merchandise, which is kind of our signature style as Rumba Allstars. And you know, it started off as us just making our own wardrobe, and people became very interested in the aesthetic and African garments. So we decided to make it for the public in hopes to be able to self-sustain our project, you know. We also have artisanal goods made by Huellas Taínas. As you can see, all these wooden crafts are made by local artists, Huellas Taínas, amazing work. All the wood comes from El Oriente de Cuba, from the eastern parts of Cuba. And we also have artwork made by our very own cousin, Afrodread. He's a local artist and DJ. So we're supporting just, you know, local artists here in the community, specifically in Melo.
I've been watching for a long time your project as a dance company that is called Rumba Allstars. Since when you started this? You're in 5 years now.
Yes.
5 years. Okay. So one of the main reasons that I visited today, it was because I heard you have a bit of support for the little kids around in the community of this neighborhood where that we are located, that is Melo.
Exactly.
So which are the projects that involve the community itself into this location that we are, that is Sankofa Habana?
Yeah, so Rumba Allstars, we have our own academy, which actually started off with the intention to create a space for the actual members of Rumba Allstars to kind of work together, practice, learn together, because Rumba is a style of music that's considered to be folklore. It comes from the streets. It's not typically, you're not formally trained to be a rumbero. So we want to give a space for those artists to learn, whether it is to read music, play popular styles like salsa, son, jazz, better their technique as percussionists or as dancers or as vocalists. So that's kind of the intention between our academy. It's where we get together as Rumba Allstars and work on our craft. We also open up the doors for the community to join us and integrate in the way that we study. So we don't necessarily cater the class to the level of the client. They're integrating with us. And then if the client would like to work on something specific, that would be a private class, you know?
Yeah, that's
so
amazing.
So we have classes, vocal arrangement. We have a day dedicated to singing. We have vocal arrangement, harmony, folkloric songs. We have a percussion day where we start with technique, popular rhythms, folkloric rhythms. Same thing with dance. We have a dance day where we start with contemporary dance technique, folkloric styles, and popular styles. And on Sundays, we have our Kids Academy by Percussion, directed by Melo, who's one of our percussionists, an amazing professor. He works great with the kids. And he has dozens of children from the community that come in for classes from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's primarily based on percussion, Cuban percussion, but they also do solfege, piano, vocalization, and all that to kind of open up the doors to the young artists.
Okay, so I now have a more personal question. You know, as my viewers and me, we are very curious. So your English is very good. So I can tell you're not from here. So as you're coming from somewhere else, from the outside, how do you get involved, or how you got motivated to come and then started this new company that has to deal or is involved with the Afro-Cuban specifically culture?
Yeah, so I'm from California, from Santa Barbara, California, and I'm Mexican descent, so they call me Chicano. Yeah. And I inherited basically the love for Cuban music specifically, but all world music. Ever since I can remember, I started playing the claves, the bongo, tumbadora. So my musical foundation has always been Cuban music. And ever since I knew that what I do comes from Cuba, my dream was always to come here and kind of dive deeper and study what it is that I do, you know, the best I can. So basically, I when I was 18, I turned down a music scholarship to go to Berklee College of Music, and I decided to come to Cuba instead. And that's where I met a lot of my elders, a lot of my idols in the folkloric world. And as an artist, I was just kind of doing like a back and forth. And during the pandemic, I moved out here full time for X amount of reasons. And again, just as a humble artist, a lot of people think I came out here as like a foreigner with money or producer. Or I just came here out of survival, basically, and because I felt I identify with this type of music primarily, you know. And in the mid-pandemic, we decided to start this project, and the intentions were very naive, were very innocent, you could say, where my goal at that time was just to kind of unite my elders and see them play together, you know, and for the world to see them play, because at the time I was under the impression that this folklore was going to be in the hands of the elders, and I quickly realized that it's not. You know, it's all the youth.
Yeah, and it will not last long.
Yeah, and the elders are kind of just like on the streets, not doing much. So I wanted to see the elders, you know, kind of a spotlight shined on them. So that's how it started. And we quickly realized that it was something special from, you know, the intense amount of discipline that we focused on this group, to the aesthetic, to the choreographies that we implemented, to the harmonies that we focused on the chorus, to the arrangements. We realized that this could become something much larger in a way to kind of rescue and defend these musical traditions. And it turned into what it is now, which is a full-on company. We have 15 plus artists, and when we do the full show, we have over 20, because we mix these folkloric styles with, you know, Brazilian capoeira, with Spanish flamenco, with contemporary dance, etc., on and on. I basically try and mix my musical background and story with the music that I love, which is rumba, you know. And being that I am from California and that I'm not a native to this land, I feel like it is a duty, you know, in order to do this community work and kind of pass it on to the new generation, you know, so that it can become stronger. My goal with rumba music, because it's been so marginalized for so many years, is for it to elevate to the same level as jazz music, urban music, salsa music, and for those musicians that are playing this music to be able to make a living, a substantial living, just like the musicians from these famous salsa bands, for example, or urban music. So that's our goal.
Definitely admire your mission. Now, for Afro travelers coming to Cuba, you have an open invitation to arrive to this place?
Of course, everybody's welcome. This is our home in Vedado, center of Vedado, and you're welcome here to either check out our academy, check out a rehearsal, plan an event. You know, we do a lot of demonstrations and private performances, or just come hang out. So you're welcome.
Yeah, and the dance classes.
The dance classes, all of it.
Definitely. Thank you so much for this interview, and I hope all of the Black travelers that are watching this YouTube channel come and join us and explore more of the Afro roots in here in Havana. Thank you so much.
Thank you.